A shocking defeat coming from Saudi Arabia to Argentina. It was a fantastic moment for the Saudi Arabians yesterday as they were able to do well against the Argentine Albiceleste, who never expected those goals coming from the players of Saudi Arabia. Congratulations to Saudi Arabia. Right now, it's as if they actually won the World Cup. Welcome you on the show, 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. We'll be looking at stories in the world of sport right now. Well, we know that the biggest one has to do with Argentina losing against Saudi Arabia. Well, that game was not what the whole world expected. No one saw that coming, but alas, they never gave up. They believe in themselves and they did well. Saudi Arabia earned famous win over Argentina at the World Cup 2022 Qatar World Cup taking place in Qatar. Right now, they are really celebrating. In fact, their jersey is almost like Super Eagles, and you wish Super Eagles actually was the one that did this. But well, a lot of attention given to Saudi Arabia in that particular encounter. They did well, and I have in the studio, in the person of Mona Usman, who will be joining to talk sport this hour. Good to have you, Mona.
Nice to be with you here. Good
yes, you saw that game, Argentina, Saudi Arabia. The whole world, I'm sure, if we were to look at the population that supported Argentina before the game started, it should have been like 99 against 1.
Yeah, statistics showed that the game belonged to Argentina before it started. Even while it was going, there were still trends that Argentina would bounce back as they usually do to win, but style and luck played into Argentina's camp, and then they won with Javi Renard.
Saudi Arabia, rather.
Sorry, Saudi Arabia. With Javi Renard, who has been a two-time African champion in the Nations Cup, coaching Saudi Arabia now, and being able to pick strategies that could win. You know, from the game, Argentina came out. I believe they came out, they even underrated the team, Saudi Arabia. But when it started, they just held the midfield, key players in the midfield, and then Messi and Martinez and a few others, and that was how it just ended. They didn't focus more on too much of the team. They just picked the key players, and that was how it ended.
Now, you notice that the coach, Javi Renard, kept changing his tactics.
Yes.
The first half, he played different tactics. The second half, he changed it, and everything seems, immediately they scored those 2 goals. He also reverted, and it showed that really this particular coach, Havrina, was able to study Argentine's team, and he was able to at least get what he wanted against that squad.
Yeah, from the first half, he played a 4-1-4-1 formation, and he knew that Argentina are good with speed. So he just left the wingers. He knew that the main men were Martinez and Messi, and they were at the middle. So he kept them at the middle, marking them at the middle, and then always giving them an offside trap, knowing fully well that if this offside is not beaten, there's no how they will go above it. So that was one of the good things he did, and that worked for him. You understand? So keeping them at the offside trap, and then having a massive counter, a massive defense, retaining energy, that was what he used against them.
Now, from the way you saw that particular game yesterday, I listened to so many people talking about, if we were to be Nigeria that played that game, I'm just an assumption, do you think we'll have defeated Argentina?
Nigeria has a particular defect when it comes to football. Many people might not agree with this, but it's what I see, and a lot of sport enthusiasts like myself have seen it. We don't do man marking. We always do zonal marking. Anybody that comes to your zone is who you mark. If you mark out a man, you've held him. Your sweeper at the defense, then your defensive midfielder are the ones that do the zonal play. When you mark out a player, hold him.
Just like you mentioned, a sweeper there.
Yes.
Now, remember the game that particular Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. That was a particular goal that Argentina was supposed to have actually scored. That a defender came to sweep. He swept it off, and that showed that really the Saudi Arabian team, they really showed their class, that they wanted to immediately they scored those 2 goals. They held on. They did everything possible. They were not tired. You know, some teams have been, even though tension, pressure, everything kept coming, they were able to at least hold it back. They held their own against Argentina, despite the squad being rated as the best of the tournament. Saudi Arabia surprised the whole world.
Yes.
They listened to their coach. They fought hard. All the players, in fact, one of them that got injured still went back to play. Then their goalkeeper, Mohamed Al-Faraz, was able to hold on. He kept all about 5 shots out, and he got the man of the match of that particular encounter. Your take?
Yeah, well, what makes a good team basically is discipline and individual character. The team was disciplined. They listened to the coach. They pushed all the whole games to the middle, and then they didn't allow that offside to be beaten. They kept offside trap for Argentina, who wanted to use speed, and that did not work for them. And that also made them retain energy, because Argentina will play you until you lose energy and they begin to attack. But these boys held a few players, the key players in the game, and retained energy to the last minute. You understand? That was one thing that worked for them. And then individual play, I was surprised they came from a goal down to win.
That was the shocking parts of it.
They came from a goal down to win 2-1. And now if you watch the second goal, one player, the number 10, beating 3 players, coming back to score a screamer from outside the 18-yard box.
That goal right now, I'm sure, is going to be one of the best goals of this tournament.
Yeah, of course. Right now it is. Right now it is. And then kudos to Saudi Arabia. But, you know, this thing happened once in a while. It happened in...
Offset.
Yes.
You always have
it
offset.
happened in 2002
Senegal,
when France... Yes, exactly. I mean, I was expecting an upset in this World Cup, but I was looking at...
Not Argentina, Saudi Arabia.
No, I was looking at France because there's this course that happens usually when a World Cup team wins, and that team does not go far in the World Cup, the next World Cup. Example is when France won the France 98, they were defeated in the next World Cup, 2002. You just said it now. And also when Germany won, they came back and then they lost woefully at this thing. Me, I was looking at, okay, if none of this, then that course would happen between France and Australia. And when Australia scored first, I said, okay, this might be it, but
it's never happened.
It never happened. So I never saw Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia.
After actually leading.
Yes.
Saudi Arabia trailing, and they were able to score successive goals within few minutes, and they shock Argentina, the most at least adorable team to this tournament, because almost everyone has been touting them to be the team to beat. But right now it seems they just have to get off from the track of people putting attention on them or pressure. Let them see what they can do. At least right now, Messi, Lautaro Martinez saying, well, they will bounce back from that shocking defeat. They never expected it, but at least Saudi Arabians can celebrate that they have won the World Cup. Really, it deserves it. In fact, news going around that the king of Saudi Arabia declared a public holiday for them. Really, if you beat Argentina at the World Cup, at least you deserve, so you actually deserve to get a holiday there. A good one. We've been looking at Saudi Arabia versus Argentina, a game that you never saw that particular result coming. Fantastic game by Saudi Arabian team. The show class, they really show class against the Celeste there. Well, let's look at the man that did that particular job, Hervé Renard, who has won 2 Nations Cup in Africa. He did it with Zambia. He also did it with Cote d'Ivoire. Looking at his record right now, as he actually done it twice. He did it twice, winning in that game. He also led Morocco to the first World Cup in 2018, Hervé Renard's record. And also, right now, it took Saudi Arabia to the World Cup right now, defeating the favorite Argentina. I just have to appreciate what Hervé Renard has done when it comes to football. And really, this man knows his onion, the man that always wear white whenever he's coaching. Kudos to him and kudos to the entire squad of Saudi Arabia. Even if they don't go far in this competition, if they don't move out of the group, they've done what no one expected. So kudos to that team. Now let's continue with the other results at the World Cup. Let's look at the 2022 FIFA World Cup result, Group C and D, where, yes, it was a shocking one. Saudi, Argentina, the one we just outlined there. Denmark against Tunisia, 0-0. You have Mexico also playing 0-0 against Poland, and France versus Australia ended 4-1. Let's take it one by one. Denmark, Tunisia. It wasn't, a lot of people were already saying, okay, Denmark should be able to win this game, but Tunisia came out, they showed why they are Carthage Eagles. They were able to, they fought hard against the Danish team.
For Denmark and Tunisia, it was I didn't see much of a winner in that game. Why? Because you can't take away the strength from Africa, truth be told. There are some teams who are favorites, and there are some teams who are, yes, they are good, but they have to match the African strength. Teams like in Africa now, Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco, they have strengths to match anybody when it comes to middle class teams now. Not maybe favorites, but contenders. They are also contenders. They have strength to match. And then I was surprised that going back to teams like Netherlands and Senegal, it was just a mistake, an error. from the keeper.
Because they held on till 80 something minutes.
Yes. If they had held on for more and not being focused, they would have actually gotten a better game. So Tunisia and Denmark, I think it was a fair game. It was a fair game. There was just no winner. Also, Mexico have been very aggressive, even in their friendlies and qualifiers. They've been very aggressive. And meeting Poland, I was expecting that Lewandowski would do something, but...
but the goalkeeper, Ochoa Guillermo, really showed class. It was the man that really saved that, Mexico in that game against, against Lewandowski. He did everything he could, and that worked well for Mexico.
Ochoa has always been phenomenal when it comes to World Cup. He's always been phenomenal. I don't know where he gets his...
inspiration from.
Yes. But when it comes to World Cup, he's always phenomenal. So kudos to him, yeah.
Kudos to Ochoa Guillermo, the goalkeeper of Mexico in that game against Poland. It was fantastic, able to at least save so many chances. And really, you have to appreciate what the goalkeeper has really done for that team. And for Lewandowski, well, maybe they just have to plan well in another game that they will play in Poland, Mexico 0-0. And you look at Denmark, Tunisia also, they also did their best. Well, for Lewandowski, maybe he needs to study how to play penalty. Well, we look at France, Australia. That game, maybe you never expected it to be like 4-1, but it ended up favoring the Les Bleus as we were able to score 4 goals. Olivier Giroud was the man that really showed class. To embrace in that encounter, Mbappe also showing class.
Of course, Mbappe is one of the most talked about players right now in the continent, in the world particularly. I expected that, yes, he's going to bounce back and do something. But Giroud being in a country like Italy, playing in the Serie A, I knew, okay, fine, Giroud might have something. And he's the current winner of the Italian Serie A. So I believe, yes, Giroud will come back and do something. And then in the absence of a player like Karim Benzema, he needs to step in to show class. That's exactly what they've done. And yes, they are doing it very well. Okay,
now, if you look at this, the match, that France-Australia, already after the game, will you tip France now that they will actually go far in this tournament?
It's too early to do that right now.
I like that. I like that because a lot of people already started writing off Argentina because they lost. That could be a way. If you remember what Spain did last time, they won the World Cup. When nobody saw that, they started, immediately they lost the game, they regrouped and they started doing well. 1 goal per game, till they got to the final and they scooped that particular Mundial Cup.
Yeah, like I said, it's too early now to actually rule out anybody. This is the first game that was played in the group stage. And losing the first game, you might still win 2 more games, giving you 6 points, and you'll still qualify to round of 16. So, yes, Argentina still has a chance. And I will not say France for now until they prove themselves worthy, because nobody came to World Cup to play. Yeah, so, and Asian teams too, like Japan and the rest, they are also having new style of plays. So, the World Cup is not what you see in recent times. There are different style of plays now that coaches come in. There are different investments in national teams now that you want to see play out. So yes, Argentina, I keep saying Argentina.
Because
France,
of the shock.
France, yes, can be good with the 4-1, but you have to just lay it low for now until they prove otherwise.
Until they prove otherwise, we'll be looking at the result of the matches players in the group C and D. Shocking one coming from Saudi Arabia. They really show class in that encounter. Really, they deserve to get the holiday they actually giving themselves today after shocking Argentina and also shocking the whole world. It was the whole world that was shocked because no one saw that particular result. Not Saudi Arabia against Argentina. It's not as if a lot of people writing them up, but the fact that if you look at the rating and the Argentina squad that right now standing as the strongest to the tournament, being defeated by a less fancy team, that was a very shocking one. Well, we'll be looking at the World Cup result now. Well, we'll be looking at more, but quickly let's go through some stories that have to do with other sport before we come back to the World Cup fixtures for today. Let's look at it. Cricket, Nigerian team. They are already in Zimbabwe. T20 cricket World Cup qualifier. Yellow Greens depart for Zimbabwe. They are called Yellow Greens. That's the Nigerian national team, the cricket team for male. Right now, they are there in Zimbabwe, and they want to show their class in Harare as they will be showing, fighting hard to see how they can make it. T20 Cricket World Cup qualifier. It would be nice to see our team really. Recently, cricket has really been growing well in Nigeria, and we want to see them doing well. Hopefully, they will perform very well by the time the competition starts. But as we speak right now, they are in Zimbabwe for the T20 Cricket World Cup qualifier. Wishing them the best as they file out against all the opponents that will be fighting against them in this particular qualifier. It would be nice to have Nigeria playing at the Cricket World Cup. Now, away from cricket, let's talk athletics now, where athletics, 150 athletes to storm Abuja for Richard Agboni for hand-to-hand athletics championship. It's expected that younger athletes are expected to come together to compete in this competition where they have the opportunity to showcase their talent. At least it will allow the school children to showcase their skills when it comes to athletics. When it comes to this particular sport, we know Nigeria have a lot of strength in it, but we need to develop as we see that most of our athletes are aging. We need to get new set, and that's why the likes of Richard Agboni for deeming fit to organize such a competition, athletics championship, to support athletics in Nigeria and to see how children will not be taken for trafficking, but rather they can at least be given the opportunity to compete when it comes to sport. 150 athletes are expected on Saturday at MK Abiola Stadium, where they'll be fighting for honors. Away from athletics, let's go to the Nigerian National League. Kun Khalifa FC, yes, they swapped their position from NNL. Right now, both teams agree. Kun Khalifa, they play with in NNL, but right now they are swapping with One Rocket is from Akwa Ibom State, and right now the two teams will be swapping. Kun Khalifa will go to NLO as One Rocket. They got relegated after coming third in their group, but now they actually swapped that position. So, well, Nigerian National League, FC One Rocket will be there, and they actually issued a statement concerning that. Let's look at that statement issued by the club. We can confirm today, Tuesday, that was the day they met, that after an agreement by both parties signed on November 18, Kun Khalifa FC of Owerri, Imo State, have transferred his NNL slot to FC One Rocket. All conditions for the exchange have been met, and the Nigerian National League Board has been duly communicated. FC One Rocket finished third from bottom in Southern Conference Group B2 last season and were confirmed relegated. With the new development, Kun Khalifa will play the Nationwide League 1 NLO next season, with FC One Rocket will feature in the Nigerian National League NNL. General managers for both sides, Michael Chukwudi Amefula and Ubong Esen, put pen to paper on the joint agreement sent to NNL. Good one there. So we'll be seeing FC One Rocket in the NNL owned by Nse Esen, and also you see them showcasing their talent there. They don't want to go down. They still want to be there, and let's see what they will be offering in this particular season. Now we move away from that story, talking about Nigerian sport. Let's go back to the World Cup. As we talk about 2022 FIFA World Cup fixtures, matches will be on from 11. We'll be seeing some games on now. Let's look at those fixtures before we'll be talking about Ronaldo. Well, quickly, let's look at the 2022 FIFA World Cup fixture, where Morocco versus Croatia, 11 a.m. That game is another one. Will it be another shocking one, Mona?
It's a tight one. Morocco and Germany and Japan it will be a good one. I see Germany trailing in the game, but for Morocco versus Croatia, my prediction will be a 2-1. Yes, in favor of Croatia.
For Germany, okay, Morocco, Croatia, right?
Yes, Morocco, Croatia.
2-1 in favor of
Croatia.
Seriously?
Yes.
You're writing off your African brothers.
No. I'm not. Okay, you want me to be patriotic? Okay, 1-0 for Morocco.
That's a smart one.
I'm only saying the fights will be strong, and for Croatia, who have been finalists in the last World Cup, I don't think they want to take it for granted at this level with the kind of players they have, like Modric and the rest. Morocco, yes, Morocco qualified, but to be honest with you, giving the favorite, putting the favorites now, according to, I want to say yes, Croatia find better ahead.
Well, we know Croatia, they are not the kind of team that are complacent. They are always playing their game. Yeah. They just want to play you. You underrate them at your own peril. But really, we know how solid Croatia can be, being led by Luka Modric. But Morocco, looking at what Tunisia did yesterday, Morocco could also take a lead from that. Okay, if Tunisia could do it against Denmark, who says we cannot hold our own against Croatia?
There's a difference between style of play and belief. Two different things. By belief, by sentiment, Morocco should be able to put a very good strength to it. But if you're judging from the African style of play, now, even at the Nations Cup, what did you see there? You understand? It was Senegal who went ahead. You understand me? Now, Croatia being one of the finalists in the last World Cup, I tipped them ahead. Not as though Morocco cannot do a shocker or even have a draw against teams like Croatia. But I'm looking at discipline now. Croatia looks more disciplined inside of play than Morocco. That's my reason for that.
Okay, now let's look at Germany, Japan.
Germany, Japan, of course, I'll give it to the favorite Germany. I'll give it to them. The favorite Germany, who I'm going to give it to. Yes.
Okay, well, for Germany, Japan, you don't know who to give it to.
I'll give it to the favorite of the match.
Who is the favorite?
The match favorite of that game is Germany over Japan.
Okay, but you know, at times Japan they can be very pacey when they play football. Germany might just be shocked. Also, that's the way it happened yesterday.
Germany, it never underrate an Asian team right now because they are growing their sports. I understand what you were saying. They are growing their sports. Even Iran had to score 2 goals against England. So Asian football teams now are growing their sport. Yes, they are having new style of play. But talking about favorites now, I'm putting Germany ahead of Japan. Not like Japan cannot do something. But
good one. Now I understand you. Now, well, let's just take a look at least the list of at least probables now that will be playing. You have it there. If you look at the way it is, it's going to be a tough one. Looking at Morocco versus in that game against Croatia, you look at Kramari, Vlasic, Perisic, Kovacic, Brozovic, Modric, Juranovic, Lovren. You have Livakovic at the goal. You have Valdio, Josko, Sosa for Croatia. And you look at Morocco, Mazrao, Aguera, you have Saiz, Hakimi, Ashraf, Onahi, you have Amrabat, you have Bofal, Anala, you have El Nesri and Ziyech. Not forgetting their goalkeeper, Bono. From the way it is, don't you see it's very balanced? Even though I know you are tilted towards Croatia.
I would say it's balanced because exposure-wise, Hakim Ziyech is one of the players you can say, okay, that is very good in Morocco. But looking at Croatia, you have the likes of Modric there and other players who have been exposed to this European style of play. It's discipline and style of play that will matter most in this game. Yes, Morocco could do a shocker. You never can tell.
Of course, it can be very, very possible. Morocco actually surprised Croatia despite all the names with Brozovic, Kovacic, all of them. Even look at Modric, they could be shocked to their bone marrow. If Morocco could just borrow a leaf from Tunisia and also Saudi Arabia, they can actually do this. We've been looking at the World Cup fixtures. Well, matches are there. Germany, Japan. That will be another big one that will be coming up by 2 p.m. That's another game that will be coming up there. Well, but before we go, let's just talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, where it came out that the marriage between the two, Manchester United and Ronaldo is over after the issue statement concerning that Cristiano Ronaldo could stay in England or move to Al Nassr of Saudi Arabia following mutual consent exit from Manchester United. He left Manchester United right now. In fact, that was a statement he made after that particular exit. Let's look at that. Following talks with Manchester United, we've mutually agreed to end our contract. I love Manchester United and I love the fans. That will never ever change. It feels right to seek for a new challenge. Let's take that from Ronaldo now. Well, from the way it is, Ronaldo really, to some extent, between Manchester United and Ronaldo is over. Yes, no more any story about that. But him staying in England or going to Saudi Arabia, a lot of story here and there. Chelsea, Newcastle, clubs that want to Inter Miami and all that. But from the way you see this particular player, where do you think he will be tilting?
Cristiano Ronaldo might be. He wants to show his strengths. He doesn't believe that he's aging. He still believes he has a lot to offer. He might still remain in Europe for this season after the World Cup. Still remain in Europe and then try to be relevant in football. It took a very brave mind for him to have aired his opinion. Or even though we know that it's wrong for an employee to speak ill against the employer while still being in contract, there are players who come to United and still do not show their strengths or character, what they can offer because of the team lack of abilities to show in recent times. Since the post-Alex Ferguson era, yeah, we've had issues, and till now, there are still issues. For Ronaldo to come out to air his opinion, I think it's a brave one. Yeah, it's a wrong approach, but it's a brave one. Ronaldo might still be in Europe to show that he still has a lot to offer.
Or England.
Might still even be in England, yes.
Yes, because news came out that Newcastle or Chelsea or thereabout, though it's not certain yet from the way it is, even though Todd Bowley, the owner of Chelsea, wants him, but Graham Potter, body language is like he doesn't want Ronaldo. And then Newcastle United also, from the way it is, either maybe he will be there or not. A club in Saudi Arabia actually offered $250 million for him to stay with them.
Well, it depends on him himself. That's a very huge amount of money, but it depends on him if he wants to take the money or he wants to show relevance in football. He said in his interview, he said he has 2 or 3 years in football to play. He wants to play till he gets to 40. And then I don't think he wants to go to Saudi Arabia to play that kind of football. Ronaldo is someone who wants to show strength. He's a mentor to more than half of the players in the world. He still wants to remain in Europe. Piers Morgan, who we had an interview with of recent, said Ronaldo being in Arsenal might make Arsenal win the Premier League. So we never can tell where he wants to go.
Well, anything can still happen concerning Cristiano Ronaldo right now. It could just be any club you never, ever expect him to go to. Where we'll be looking at the marriage between the two, Manchester United and also Cristiano. Now, before we go, let's take the last lap. That has to do with Manchester United Glazer family are considering selling the club. Even though just maybe a week or thereabout ago, they were like, no, they only want shareholders. But right now, they are considering this. Joel and Avram Glazer, both of them, they have been running the club since the death of their father. But right now, they are considering selling Manchester United because the fans is not to be happy with them. After all, Ronaldo also had some spark to this particular issue.
Yes, of course. The team needs to grow. And then if the team is not productive, that means there's something wrong. And for Ronaldo to have aired what he aired, it's causing sparks around. And so yes, they have to sell the club to actually be productive in the game. So if this will make them productive, then they have to sell.
They have to sell. Well, from the way it is, in 2005 that they got that club for £790 million. They've been running it, and now it seems time is out for them. They just have to move on. Well, the Glazer family will do everything possible to get buyers. Find Manchester United, a club that everyone wants to buy. Well, that's it on 360 Sport this hour. Good to have you, Muna Usman.
It was a pleasure. A pleasure being with you.
Yes, for the teams that will be playing today, especially for Morocco, Africans are behind you to see you doing well. The team will believe that you can do it. After all, Tunisia was able to do it. Also, Saudi Arabia, they shocked the world yesterday. Go there and do your thing. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe. Sport is business and fitness. Thanks for watching.